Hey everyone, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to apply your nail tip for acrylic application. Now, in the last video, I showed you how I prepped the natural nail for acrylic application, so you won't have any lifting at all. So again, today I'm going to be showing you how I apply the nail tips, which is what I prefer to use. So right here, I have 3 different nail tips. So I have a number 5, a number 4, and a number 3. Your biggest number is always going to be your smallest nail tip. So the bigger the number, the smaller the nail tip, and the smaller the number, the bigger the nail tip. So usually nail tips come in a number 0, and then they go all the way up to a number 9, sometimes a 10. So number 0 is going to be your biggest nail tip, and then number 9 is going to be your smallest nail tip. So I didn't want to confuse anybody, so I had to go ahead and repeat that. So whenever you're applying your nail tips, you want to make sure that the nail tip fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. Having the perfect size nail tip will help prevent lifting as well. Like, I've seen people apply nail tips and you can see that the nail tip is literally hanging off their natural nail, and then they wonder why they get lifting. So also, you know, it could also happen when you apply a tip that's too small to where, like, you could, like, if you apply it will, like, you know, make it look like it fit, but you're having to literally force it down. And so if you just gently place it and you're having to force it down, that means that it's too small. Like, you can see how a little piece of my natural nail is still hanging off the side. So that, of course, is not the correct size. If we do a number 4, this one fits exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You see it's not hanging off the side. It's literally perfect on the nail. I'm not having to force it down or anything. So just to make sure, we're gonna go up to a number 3 or down to a number 3. And this one kind of fits, but you see how it's almost a little bit on my skin. See where it's kind of touching? So you definitely don't want that. So we're gonna stick to the number 4, which fits perfect. So after you've picked the perfect size, we're gonna go in with the nail glue. And then also, before I go ahead and apply the tip, I do want to mention that, of course, nail tips come in all different shapes and lengths, but these are my natural nail tips. I do have them available on my website. They're super sturdy. They're a good length to where, like, you know, if you're doing like a normal length set of nails, then this would be perfect. Or if you're doing short, that way you're not wasting your super long extendo nails, because I've seen people do that as well. So these, again, are perfect for just normal length nails. But anyways, to apply the nail tip, I am using the KDS glue. So what you want to do is just apply the nail glue right on the edge. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a line on the nail tip. And basically, it's like a guide to know how far up to apply the nail. So you basically want your natural nail to bump onto that line right there, and see how it fits on there perfectly. So same thing I'm gonna do with this nail. So just placing it down, holding it at an angle. I'll show you right here. Holding it at an angle. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get a good view, but holding it at an angle, making sure that you're holding your finger really straight, and then just press down. That way you don't get any air bubbles or anything. And you literally just hold it for not even 10 seconds, and this glue dries super fast. So again, make sure that you're holding your finger really straight. Of course, if you're doing a client's nail, you of course want to make sure that you're holding their hand really straight and their finger as well. And then just make sure you position the nail on there right, and then just hold it down, and that's pretty much it. So after we place the nail tip, I guess I can go ahead and show you guys how to cut it and stuff in the same video. That way we don't have to do so many separate videos. But if you want to cut it, you can. You would just go in with your tip cutter, and I guess I can cut it just to show you guys. But I do always use a tip cutter, and you just go in there depending on how short or long you want the nail. I guess I'll just cut a little bit off, but you just hold it right against the nail, making sure that it's nice and straight, and then you just cut away, and that's it. And then also, depending on what shape you want, you could leave the nail like this if you want it squared, but I most likely want my nail, I guess we can do a coffin. I'm gonna go in with my 80/80 hand file to show you how I shape nails. So what you want to do is basically just make sure that you always position your e-file on the side of the nail at a 90-degree angle. You don't want to hold it like this or like that. You literally want it to be at a 90-degree angle with your sidewalls. So always super straight, because the minute that you hold it at a slightly different angle, you're gonna file away those corners, and it's gonna take away from that perfect like tapered or coffin shape that you want. And actually, you know, I am gonna cut the sides of the nail because that's usually what I always do. So me cutting it is basically just gonna save me a little bit of work whenever I'm filing. So I'm just going in with a straight edge nail clipper. You see how it's straight and not curved, and I'm just going in on the side, making sure that I don't cut too much on the side. So like I'm literally just cutting, see, oh, you can barely tell, but I'm literally just cutting the side, and then that way it saves me a little bit of time whenever I'm filing, and it takes away some of that work from my wrist. So after that, that's when I'm going to position my e-file from the sidewall, and then at a 90-degree with the entire tip, and just filing back and forth. Again, make sure that you're steady holding it at a 90-degree angle. Same thing on the other side. We're just going to alternate from side to side. And then depending on how like wide you want your coffin to be, then of course you will stop wherever, you know, you feel like you like your shape. If you want it a little bit more narrow, then you would just go in there and file some more. But remember, just continue to just file back and forth and just holding that file at exactly a 90-degree angle. Okay, so I kind of want like a tapered square shape, and so now I'm gonna file the free edge, and same thing, holding my file at exactly a 90-degree angle. And you guys can see how there's like a little tiny gap on the side, and so basically I want everything to be lined up with my e-file to where there's no gaps. And so I'm just gonna go in, see how I'm holding my file super straight against that nail and just going back and forth. I'm going to go in on the sides a little bit more. And whenever I'm filing my own nails, like I do have to like steady move my nail, you know, to different angles so I can get the perfect shape. But of course, when I'm filing a client's nail, then I would just be holding their hand. You know, I would be right here, and they, you know, I would just be filing in the same position. But also whenever I'm doing my client's nail, I do hold my file at a vertical angle against my against the nail tip, and I just file back and forth. That definitely helps with getting that free edge super straight, but it's a little bit harder to do it on my own. So I'm just gonna keep just doing it like this. Alrighty, so after I finish shaping the nail up, I just go in with my same hand file and I just basically blend the nail tip right in the middle. I know there's people that like to file the entire nail tip because they feel like the acrylic just adheres a lot better to the natural nail, but I always just do the middle, and I never have any problems with the acrylic not sticking or lifting or none of that. So I went ahead and just filed the entire nail, and then after this we're just going to dust the nail off, and then we are ready for primer and the acrylic application, which will be on the next video.